explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It seems you got a promotion because I was supposed to thank Dr. Bonin, but we'll move on. Chairman Van Dever and members, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to lay out 5147 today. This bill improves access to investigational adult stem cell treatments for patients facing serious or chronic health conditions. While these treatments have been allowed in Texas since 2017, current rules limit where they can be given, creating unnecessary burdens. House Bill 5147 would allow these treatments to be provided in more settings, including outpatient facilities that offer level 2 anesthesia services, giving patients more flexible and local options. To ensure safety, the bill requires that all stem cells must meet FDA good manufacturing practices. It also strengthens oversight by allowing more high-quality institutional review boards to oversee the treatments, including those registered with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The bill improves transparency by requiring that informed consent forms clearly state that the treatment is not FDA approved. It also requires review boards to report any serious side effects to the medical board. House Bill 5147 expands access to promising therapies while maintaining strong safeguards for patients. I respectfully ask for your support. Gladly stand for questions and ask for the opportunity to close.
Okay, members' questions? Okay, we will reserve your right to close. Chair calls Sarah Lindley Bailey, Tracy Love, Jennifer Ziegler, and Michelle Wittenberg. Have Sarah Lindley Bailey testifying on behalf of self, testifying for House Bill 5147. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Sarah. Thank you again for hearing everyone's testimonies. We need this to be passed for adults so it can be passed on for children. Plain and simple truth. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Tracy Love, testifying on behalf of self for House Bill 5147. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Proceed.
Chairman, committee members, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. This is a tough one because I worked heavily on, sorry, I'll get my composure, when we did Charlie's Law, and I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 26 years ago. Was very anxious. Had just turned 30 years old. I was very anxious to figure out how to control the disease, get on therapy. I took all of the FDA-approved drugs, and they were biologics, 30% efficacy rate, pretty daunting side effects. Some of them were probably worse than what my MS was doing. So tried all of it. Unfortunately, in my mid-30s, became a no-option patient. So I had 2 young kids. My MS was robbing me of the ability to be a mom. So I ended up as a no-option patient. I wasn't ready to give up. I wanted to fight. Did some research and found out about adult stem cell therapy. So I went to a clinic, American-owned, practiced GMP, adhered by GMP standards, had a lab that would have been passed by the FDA here in the United States, and started the first of 5 adult stem cell therapy treatments out of the country. I was forced into medical tourism. It was a miracle for me. It saved my life. It changed the trajectory of my MS. But it's a 12-minute IV push in my arm, and I fly out of the country to go do that. I wear a heavy burden to fight for others who weren't as fortunate as I am. I have a lot of friends who are affected by this, and I just, at this point, my mother is affected with Alzheimer's. I'm watching her deteriorate before my eyes. I just ask you to support this. It's medical freedom. It is safe. I'm living proof. I've had multiple treatments.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Chair recognizes Jennifer Ziegler, testifying on behalf of self for House Bill 5147. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Chairman, committee members, thank you so much for letting me tell my story. My story is very similar to my friend Tracy's. We have been at this for about 15 years now. We started in about 2012 educating you all. We went in every House office, every Senate office, and told our own personal stories about being no-option patients. I, like Tracy, had been on a drug for 5 years. I'd been injecting it. It was worse than what I was dealing with. So I had met Tracy and decided that I too would become a medical tourist and leave our country to get adult stem cell therapy. Thousands of patients every year, people with autism, people with congestive heart failure, people with arthritis, people with movement disorders, they flock to countries who will treat safe and effectively. I went to Panama and have been treated 5 times. With many, many quality of life improvements that I did not receive on any FDA drug. Since then, we've expanded our right to try law. We were very involved in that, the Andrea Sloan Right to Try bill. We don't need to leave our country to get this treatment. Like Tracy said, this is a push IV into your arm. It's not even a drip. And it just seems so simple. Let's bring this safe and effective treatment to the mainstream sooner rather than later. And I think we passed a book out to you all by Dr. Neil Reardon, who is the science behind this. I highly suggest that you look into this and read this because it will make you understand in layman's terms what we're telling you. So 90% of the people sitting in this room will need this therapy at one point in their life or know someone who will need this therapy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Members' questions? Oh, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Nicole.
I'm sorry.
He's ready to get me out of here.
How could I miss Michelle Wittenberg?
Sorry.
Okay, Chair recognizes Michelle Wittenberg, testifying on behalf of KK 125 Ovarian Cancer Research Foundation, NHR Holdings LLC, and SELF for House Bill 5147. Is that correct?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Representative Collier. I'll make it super fast. I met these ladies when we were laying out the first right to try bill because they heard us talking about the experience that we had had with my friend Andrea Sloan. And they heard about Andrea, about us testifying that she had received adult stem cell therapy through a clinical trial at MD Anderson, and that it had given her a multi-year remission to her stage 3C genetic ovarian cancer. And I hear them talking about what they had gone through and that they were learning about other people who were able to utilize stem cell therapy. That was in 2015. We used the right to try model and applied it to Charlie's Law so that we could have Texas be the first state to use right to try specifically for the use of adult stem cells. And I always focus on adult stem cells if anybody has a question. It's always, always, always and only adult stem cells. We are looking to modernize this a little bit more, and a lot of it is, Representative Jones, I wrote down something you said earlier. You said on another bill that there are times when you just hope something is available when it happens to you or to somebody that you care about. It was on a Dr. Oliverson bill, and his words back to you, he said, well, we need all hands on deck, right? Dr. Scott Gottlieb, before he was the FDA commissioner back in 2012 in the Wall Street Journal, he specifically talked about how horrible it was, how bad it was that the FDA would regulate your own cells in your body as a drug, and yet that is what we are doing. And that's why we're utilizing right to try as a legal method to try to enable people in Texas to not be those medical tourists, so that when you do have a last resort patient, there are, as you've seen with multiple sclerosis, whether it's multiple sclerosis or orthopedic or cancer or cardiovascular applications, that we have those applications and that you don't have to fly to Panama or anywhere else for this, that you could get this treatment right here in Texas.
Thank you. Members' questions? I believe you guys covered it well. Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on, for, or against House Bill 5147? If not, Chair recognizes Chairman King to close on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members. A couple of months ago, we had a day on the House floor where I explained Teal Tuesday. I've been privileged to be a state rep for my district for a while now, and there's some pretty, we pass a lot of bills, and there's a lot of bills I can recall, and a lot of bills that I'm proud of. Nothing more proud of the work I've been able to do to affect cancer research and healthcare. And it started off as women's healthcare, which is kind of odd because when I got here, I thought I would be working on energy issues and I was going to be working on roads, and that's what I knew about, that's what I cared about, and I became an advocate for cancer research and primarily women's health. So you never know where the Lord's going to take you. This is just another step in that. When I'm gone from here, from borrowing this seat, and there's somebody else there, nobody's going to remember that it was Representative King that brought this bill before this esteemed committee on this day. What they are going to know is they have better health care because we stood behind Texans. And with that, I would ask for your favorable consideration, and I close.
Okay, thank you. All right, if there's no objection, House Bill 5147 will be left pending. Is there objection? Chair hears none. House Bill 5147 is left pending.